1. Rare medieval knight tombstone found in Gdańsk 2024 archaeology discovery. 2. Ancient knight skeleton discovered beneath ice cream parlor in Poland. 1. Rare medieval knight tombstone found in Gdańsk 2024 archaeology discovery. Imagine uncovering a piece of history that brings the past to life in vivid detail. That's exactly what happened recently in the heart of Gdańsk, Poland. A team of dedicated archaeologists from ArcheoScan stumbled upon a rare medieval knight's tombstone during an excavation in Śródmieście I, the city's most significant archaeological site. This discovery was made between Chapowa, Sukiennice, and Grodzka streets, in a location that once hosted a wooden church built around 1140 and a brick castle, constructed by the Teutonic Knights between 1335 and 1341. The castle met its end at the hands of Gdańsk residents in 1454. But here's where it gets controversial. The tombstone, a stunning piece of Gotland limestone measuring about 150 centimeters, portrays a knight in exquisite detail, complete with chainmail armor, a sword in one hand, and a shield in the other. The figure is framed by stone arcades, a characteristic element of late 13th to early 14th century architecture. Sylwia Kaczynska, a member of the ArcheoScan team, described the find as a madness, underscoring its historical significance. This discovery is not just about the knight's tombstone, it's a window into a bygone era. The site has yielded over 250 burials, 6 gravestones, and the foundations of the 12th century wooden church. The team plans to lift the slab next week, hoping to find the knight's burial preserved beneath. However, the limestone's fragility means they must act quickly to preserve it. But what about the knight himself? Who was he? Kaczynska speculates that given the quality of his armor and sword, he was likely a commander or ruler. But there's more. The team has also found a damaged sandstone gravestone, with signs of green-blue staining indicating the possible presence of buried metal artifacts. A wooden coffin and human skulls were discovered nearby, adding to the mystery. Gdańsk, known as Danzig in earlier centuries, was a fortress for the Teutonic Knights, who colonized the area with German settlers in 1308. These new finds not only highlight the city's medieval importance but also the high status of its inhabitants. This discovery is a treasure trove for history enthusiasts and archaeologists alike. But here's the part most people miss: what does this knight's tombstone tell us about the social hierarchy and military culture of medieval Gdańsk? And how does it compare to other discoveries in the region? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. For more information, ArcheoScan, https://www.facebook.com/ArcheoScan. 2. Ancient knight skeleton discovered beneath ice cream parlor in Poland. Astonishing historical discoveries don't happen every day, but sometimes, they show up in the most unexpected places, like beneath the floorboards of a beloved neighborhood ice cream shop. Picture this: in Gdańsk, a vibrant city along the northern coast of Poland, archaeologists have unearthed a nearly perfectly preserved skeleton of a medieval knight in the spot where the popular Miss Ice Cream Parlor stood for decades. If that news doesn't make your imagination run wild, consider this: buried just inches below an engraved medieval tombstone, this find raises more questions than it answers. But here's where things get fascinating. The site itself has long intrigued archaeologists with its layers of buried secrets. Over recent years, teams digging here have uncovered everything from the remnants of centuries-old cottages, some dating back as far as the 12th and 13th centuries, to fragments of ancient city streets that hint at Gdańsk's storied past. It turns out, this plot of land, now free from the bustle of ice cream lovers, sits atop a true puzzle box of history. The latest breakthrough came in July, when experts from the ArcheoScan Archaeological and Conservation Workshop stumbled across a substantial limestone tombstone during their excavation. What set this stone apart was an intricately carved image of a knight in full regalia, a rare sight and a clear marker of someone of status. After carefully moving the stone to Gdańsk's Archaeological Museum for safekeeping and further study, initial analysis suggested it likely dates from the 13th or 14th century, right at the crossroads of dramatic shifts in European history. And this is the part most people miss: just 2 days after discovering the tombstone, diggers found the knight's intact skeleton lying about 5 inches beneath it. The remains, believed to be those of a man around 40 years old and standing approximately 5 feet 6 inches to 5 feet 10 inches tall, were remarkably well preserved. Dr. Alexandra Pudlow, an anthropologist involved with the research, observed that while the skeleton was mostly in excellent shape, the skull had suffered more damage. Preservation conditions like these are rare and offer a unique opportunity for researchers to unlock details about medieval life, health, and culture. But the questions just keep coming. Who was this knight? For whom did he fight or serve? The city's complex past complicates things. In the early 1200s, the Teutonic Knights, a controversial, crusading German Catholic order, captured Gdańsk, reshaping the city's fate. Could this knight have been aligned with them? Or was he perhaps a devotee of the Sobieslaw dynasty, which ruled the region in earlier centuries? Without clear burial records, the answer might remain elusive for now. The intrigue doesn't stop there. Researchers plan to conduct even more sophisticated analyses, utilizing technologies like 3D imaging to reconstruct both the tombstone and the knight's remains in meticulous detail. Ongoing tests might soon reveal insights about his genealogy, diet, or health, possibly as early as next year. Other tombstones found at the site have garnered attention, but none so far have matched the grandeur or mystery of this knight's burial. Now, let's stir the pot a bit. Some might argue that such discoveries should be made public immediately, while others believe that proper scientific vetting is necessary before sharing conclusions. Should these finds be quickly open to crowds for educational purposes, or is it better to take the time for deeper study first? And, with Gdańsk's complicated history as a backdrop, could this knight be a symbol of conquest or resistance? Do you think archaeology has a responsibility to preserve or reinterpret these stories for modern society? Sound off, which theory do you find more convincing? Should emotional historical connections to such finds matter just as much as the hard facts, or does science always have to come first? Let us know what you think in the comments below.